Hello and welcome to the Super League POMcast. I am your host, Johnny Lew. Joining me today, fresh from an exciting new project that he's planning and that he is starting to take the world by storm. It is my co-host, Andy Lee. How are we, Andy?
That's a better introduction than usual, that, mate.
I know, I get fed up of calling you an old fart and
I know,
stuff like
yeah,
that,
but
so
no,
I've got
I'm
to
very
give a
well.
compliment.
I'm very well. Good to see you with a nice Wembley background this week. That's very apt, very good.
Why? What's going on? Is something going on?
FA Cup final, I think.
Is there? Right. Oh, are you in an England shirt?
England. I am in an England shirt. Yes,
I'm in an England shirt. That's a coincidence, isn't it?
isn't it?
So if you
Um,
are listening on audio, please tune in on video and you'll see a nice Wembley background, two England shirts, because of course it is the start of the Ashes series against Australia. And it is an exciting time, isn't it, Andy?
it's amazing. It's really gripped the rugby league community, as you'd expect, because we haven't had one since 2003. We've played them in one-off tests and World Cup finals, things like that. But we haven't actually had a pinnacle of the Ashes, a three-match series since 2003. Quite rightly, you would expect it to grab the headlines, grab people's imagination, and I think the whole country's rugby league population can't wait for Saturday and wait for this to begin.
Absolutely not. And it really is the most positive news story coming out at the minute. And rugby league is such a positive sport that we don't like positivity. We have to create negativity around it. And this is where we're starting off. We've teased you with the Ashes. You're gonna have to wait a good few minutes because there's been a lot going on in the rugby league world over in the Northern Hemisphere this past week, including the introduction of three brand new Super League teams. They are, of course, the two expansion sides in York City Knights and Toulouse Olympique. Out of all odds, they are in Super League next year. No one thought they had a chance, really, with the way the RFL were gearing up. And of course, um, probably the most obvious choice in club because of the state of the art facilities, the unbelievable owners, the outstanding um, past history of financial success. The most obvious club being the Bradford Bulls coming back into Super League via, notice this little saying, IMG and Rugby League commercial point system.
Mm.
There was a
Yeah.
new name on the IMG point system this year.
Do you know what? I never even noticed that.
No coincidence there.
And the
I
chair of
mean,
rugby league, the chair of rugby league commercial is.
listen, let's not put two and two together, Andy. You know that. Um, but yeah, so let's start off with the positives, though. York and Toulouse. York City Knights, they've really built a foundation, really built the club up from effectively League One that was, wait, 7 years ago they were in League One. And
Mm.
now they're on the way to Super League. Clint Goodchild, who I interviewed a few months ago, he's still got his goal of winning Super League by 2035. This is a huge point for the York City Knights. How good is it to see them in Super League for the first time in their history?
It's brilliant. Couple of points on that. The 2035 aim, I actually don't see that after watching your interview with Clint, which was brilliant. If people haven't seen it, then click back on the
Hmm.
episodes and have a listen, because it's more pertinent than ever, that interview now. But I don't actually think that the 2035 goal is out of bounds. When you look at what Hull Kingston Rovers have done, and you
Hmm.
look at what Wakefield are achieving from coming from the
Hmm.
Championship, I don't actually think that the York situation it's doable. I think it depends on his finance and investors' finance about perhaps what marquee players they might have over the next 6 or 7 years, things like that, obviously. But they've got a potential to hit double figure crowds. They've got potential to build a real community where they are. They're in a
Hmm.
fantastic city, fantastic historical city that away fans will want to go and visit to make a weekend of or whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
And I think their community as a whole, I think if they have a modicum of success, and what I mean by a modicum of success is let's say within a couple of years they could reach. Actually, I know we'll come on to this, but if it's an 8-team playoff, I know we're going to come on to that. There's no reason to say that they might not reach that next season or the season after, and that will grab the locals, that will grab the community, and go, hey, they're in the playoffs. They've got something. They've got a chance of winning the grand final.
Absolutely. And I think what will also benefit them is having that both sides, both male, female, and including the wheelchair side that they now have. If all three of them are doing well, that will bring people there that have probably never even thought of going to a rugby league game before, because it will make local headlines. There will be a feel-good attitude around the city, and if you include the football team in that are high flying in the non-leagues,
Yeah.
like you could really create a good spot, which is what the plan was when the stadium was developed,
Well,
was to create a community.
it was, and I was involved in that in my previous job, and that was the whole idea. Football, rugby league, athletics was a big thing at the time with the City of York Athletics Club. They had all
The
these different
universities there as well.
and they get a lot of sports people from the because there's two unis there. There's York
Hmm.
Uni and there's St John Uni, and they have quite a lot of impact on the local sporting landscape. But you mentioned the women's team there as well, and they just appointed Leon Price as their head coach. So they're a club, not just a team, but they're a club that's going places. And you would think, I would like to see them be able to develop a really strong academy over time. And I think they've
I
got
think they've,
all the tools and the facilities set up there ready to do it.
but they have already got good local talent that's come from there. You look at Oliver Pratt, who plays for Wakefield. You look at a few others, like they can develop their own talent. It's now just a case of getting everything in place, and that's why they've linked up with Penrith Panthers in order
Yeah.
to do that, to grow their catchment area, to pick off rugby union players from the northeast, from Scotland, and try and bring them down. They've got the expansion area to do that, and I really
Well,
think that that will help as well.
you're right, because geographically they've pretty much got everything upwards, haven't
Well, they're even teamed up with Newcastle up
they?
there, Newcastle Thunder as well. So there's them two, and they're working off the Penrith model of how they've expanded in Australia, and they can the world's their oyster effectively, because Scotland definitely is their oyster.
Yeah. What impresses me about York is you mentioned a word at the start of the pod there about positivity.
Hmm.
And I don't see anything except
That's negative.
positivity that comes out
Yeah,
of York Rugby League. I don't see
absolutely.
anything negative whatsoever in whatever field that they are growing.
Yeah, exactly that. And they've only ever looked positive since Clint's took over.
Mm,
And that to me is a testament to the ownership group that own
yeah,
them. It's a testament to the staff that they have hired and put in place. And that attitude is just going to keep on going and
I
keep on
agree.
growing. And I'm excited to see what that York side can do, because
I
next
agree.
year, they've basically recruited anyone with a link to St. Helens plus
Yeah,
Paul Vaughan. They've got
yeah,
John Bennison, Matty Foster,
yeah.
Danny Richardson, um, who else? There's a few
Well,
others
so
that
there's
are
plenty
all
of
from the
there's
Saints
plenty of Super
Academy.
League. There's plenty of Super League
links.
experience there for a start, isn't there?
And then you
And I
add
think,
Paul Vaughan in.
yeah, I think um, there will be a test. It's not all going to be an upwards trajectory. The test will be now they're in Super League and they've come with, because they actually put an application in previously, didn't they, and didn't get in.
Hmm.
So this is the second time they put an application in. But the test will come for them when they are in Super League and if it's not going to plan. If they are 12th, 13th, 14th, it will be an interesting thing how the fans react to that, because they've been used to success. All right, at a lower
Hmm.
level, but they've been used to success. And I think
Yeah, that's a
that'll
good
that'll be
point.
a that'll be a test. That'll be a test for them, because they're
And
not going to finish. They're not going to finish top 3 or 4 in the first year. So it will
or
be,
or probably the first 3 years you'd expect
yeah.
them not to.
So it will be a test to see that what you don't want is, and I know, and I'm not comparing ownerships here. Please don't think I am. Salford have never had the biggest crowds.
No,
Salford, apart from a couple of years when they had a golden spell, didn't they, where they reached Wembley, they reached the grand
2019,
final.
2020.
Yeah, they had a golden spell. Now, apart from that, since the mid-70s, when they had people like Keith Fielding and David
Hmm.
Watkins and Mike Coolman and people like that, they haven't really achieved much. And what you don't want for York is them to become the new Salford.
Yeah,
I don't mean, like I said, I don't mean in an ownership way. I don't mean
yeah,
the
yeah,
the debacle of. I'm talking on the field. You don't
yeah,
want them to become the new Salford. You want
yeah.
them
The
to
one that
become,
just exists. Well,
yeah,
I'd have said more Castleford, but Castleford get big crowds for the town that they are. So I get what you mean.
hmm.
Yeah,
But it's
I don't
exciting. You're
know.
right. I think out of, and I know on my Twitter I ran a poll to see which of the 3 teams that people were most excited about going to next year.
York, it's got to
Yeah,
be
60%. It ended up 60% York, um, about 25% or
to lose
30% Toulouse, and then I think it was
five
between
percent.
5 and 10% for Bradford.
Chernobyl.
Mm.
So York's a boon. Like I said, uh, Toulouse, they came up in 2022. It was the best year for away days, 2022, ever. No, we had Toulouse, Catalan away. You had London the year before, but obviously, but there was the away days feel back in 2022, and everyone had COVID was on its way out, and everyone wanted to go traveling again. And those
Yeah,
that didn't get to experience Toulouse because of fears of COVID still lingering, etc., or, you know, just downright money issues,
yeah,
like this is the chance then to go and experience Toulouse. Toulouse was an absolute wonderful city and away day, and the people that you speak to that are there that are going to watch the games, they travel hours to go to
to
Toulouse
go.
games.
Yeah,
There
and
was
and just
some
to put,
people that were traveling from that were traveling 4 hours, and they go and they carpool. One of them drives one week, one of them drives another, and I was speaking to them, and they were just like, "We love it," and
yeah,
we go to
brilliant.
the Perpignan games as well
Yeah,
because
brilliant.
they love rugby league. It's an area that throughout history has gone through so much turmoil in terms of rugby league. It was the only reason it is so passionate is because of how many restrictions the Nazis and subsequent government put on them. And they were the fighters, they were the rebels, and now
Yeah,
that passion is still burning as deep as ever.
yeah. And if you are going to go, rest assured, you're not going to catch anything off Sylvain Hools' pigs, are you?
No, the well-fed, well-fed,
Well,
well-bred.
ah,
That's his motto. That's under Hull's farm. Well fed, well bred.
for John's pizzas. Yeah, that we had. Yeah.
Papa Hools.
Oh. But yeah, Toulouse. Last time they were in Super League, they performed creditably. Really, um,
Yeah.
they
I
were
mean, they
unlucky to go.
finished
They were
level
unlucky to go
points,
down.
didn't they?
Yeah, they were unlucky to go down. They had a. They were one of those teams, weren't they, that had a spell where they looked like they were dead and buried. They looked like they were going down, and then all of a sudden, mid-season, they had a resurgence and pushed it really close in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if they can build on that, having that Super League experience, not what with the players, it'll be a completely different squad. But the
Yeah.
club as a whole and the
Well,
structure of the club will have no doubt benefited from that 3 years ago.
and they gained further investment since then with extra people coming onto the board. You know, they people were saying that they were concerned about how, you know, how they're gonna, you know, pay everyone's fares. It's like they were doing that in the championship with
Yeah,
no central
no
distribution.
back.
So like they've been doing that for years and years and years. They were doing
Mm.
that before they came into Super League last time. So it's no difference to them.
It's a really interesting one though. This isn't it? It's like they won the grand final in the championship without scoring a try.
Hmm.
If they hadn't have won the grand final, I don't think we'd be talking about Toulouse now, would we? That really threw the cat among the pigeons, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because when you look at what's gone on, the top 12. Well, if Bradford weren't in there, they were going to get in through the 13th or 14th independent panel
Yes.
selection.
Hmm.
The fact that they replaced Salford made it an easier decision, and
Yeah.
that meant then that there was two teams up for grabs. I think one was always going to be York,
Hmm.
and then because well, what we've seen last year with people trying to get rid of the French teams, and particularly with the investment of Darren Lockyer and the London ownership and Gary Hetherington going there, I thought it was nailed on that London would be the other
Hmm.
13th or 14th in addition once Bradford got into IMG, and the fact that Toulouse um, they shook it up
Yeah.
in a
And
really good way. They've shook it up, haven't they?
and it sums up how important goal kicking is.
Yeah,
Like, th- you know, they didn't score a try. They got 10 points on the board just through
yeah,
kicks.
yeah.
And maybe having rugby union background isn't too bad.
You're not gonna clip that bit though and just play that in
No,
isolation, are
no,
you?
I'll
No, I
edit that.
thought not.
I'll edit that out.
Edit that out. Yeah,
That'll never be allowed. And
no.
also, you mentioned about the squad turnover. Um, let's just have a moment of appreciation for the club captain that has now retired. You know, 36 years of age. He was a club legend for them, club legend for St. Helens, Mr. Dominic Peyroux.
You love dancing, Dom, don't you?
I love no Peyroux, no party, mate. Um,
Are you gutted that you won't get to see him in Super League next year?
I'm gutted, mate. I'm gutted there's no dancing
Genuinely,
Dom
aren't
in
you?
Super League. Heartbroken.
But
I might stalk him on the Gold Coast.
you will see Ollie Asholt Bot's haircut.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly, you know, I'll trade it in for my Dom. Oh, what a man. But yeah, they're gonna go through a big squad overhaul. They're gonna, you know, it's gonna happen. They'll have signings coming in, no doubt. It's just where these players are coming from that everyone needs.
It's an interesting again. Catalans don't have a problem with big signings. So why would Toulouse? Because it's a very sort of similar part of the world.
It's just more they've only got 5 weeks till pre-season.
Mm.
This is why this
In
decision's so
but in the
stupid in the
future,
timing.
but in the future,
Well, in the future, they're
you could
sorted.
see some big NRL signings, couldn't you? That
Yeah, same with
in
London.
similar to what Catalan's about.
Catalans, London, and Toulouse will be able to recruit heavily just because of location alone,
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
the money offered. Whereas the likes of St Helens and Wigan can lay on Manchester route and Liverpool and Warrington as well. But like a lot of Aussies have heard of Leeds, for example, because of the football more than the rugby.
Mm.
They've heard of Manchester, Liverpool. But
Yeah.
like, if you speak to them about York, a lot of them don't even know that was a former capital city. If
No,
you
that's right.
speak to them about, Bradford, if they're into rugby league, they might know. They wouldn't know it's near Leeds. If you
No.
talk to them about Castleford and that, they wouldn't know that's near Leeds either. So like whereas when you've got the location of London,
Mm.
Toulouse, Catalan, they're gonna be like, right,
Yeah, fancy that
I'll
lifestyle.
go on
Yeah.
location alone.
Well, how long? How long will it be then before we see London in Super League
2027.
with one more extra team,
No,
two more,
I think
or
Huddersfield
or a,
drop
or a
out.
replacement?
Huddersfield will drop out. That's my prediction. I just honestly, and we'll get on to the third club. But what I mean is, I don't see how Huddersfield gain many more points. Whereas I think the other clubs that have come in, apart from one, because they've overachieved in points this year, which we'll get onto, but Toulouse and York, I think, will grow in points.
Hmm.
And I think
Yeah. Oh,
London will grow in points.
yeah.
I
Huddersfield need
think
the new ground, don't
Cass
they?
and
Yeah.
Huddersfield are going to struggle to stay in Super League over the next 3 years.
But
Them
Huddersfield
two
need the new
clubs.
ground. They need that new ground to grow.
And they need it within the next 12 months, which they won't get. They haven't even
It's not
got
going to happen.
permission for. So I
No.
reckon they drop out, London come in, and then I think Cass will drop out in 2028, and I think we'll see Oldham come in.
Okay.
They're my predictions. Early predictions, I know, but I can't see Huddersfield staying in that top division much longer. I don't know what they bring to Super League.
We're talking now again, though, as well, about when you're saying that, we're also now talking about promotion and relegation. So it
We
might not
are and we aren't.
necessarily be that
We are
somebody
and we aren't.
drops out through IMG and Rugby League Commercial. Um,
So
but we're talking about promotion and relegation again, aren't we?
we are talking about it, but we're talking it in a more business sense rather than just going off on field. So it was the way IMG was meant to come in. IMG were meant to come in, and we were meant to have officially 12 Grade A clubs. Once you get over that threshold, you are Grade A, and that is it. Like you are the top clubs, locked in after that third year. The problem is, after the first 3 years, we haven't even got 12 Grade A clubs. We've got nine
No,
Grade A clubs and three Grade Bs, and then two more that have come in that are all Grade Bs. So the IMG point system hasn't gone into effect of what it initially intended. It initially intended to have 12 Grade A clubs by this point. We haven't got that. So what has happened now is you will see the IMG gradings continue until we get 14 now Grade A clubs.
well, you say 14. Does that not all depend on the new TV deal as well?
Well, yeah, massively, but they've already expanded to 14. There's nothing we can
Well,
do about that.
no, but if the TV deal was drastically reduced, there wouldn't be a way of having 14 teams. They'd have to go back to 12, wouldn't they? Then you'd end up with a what they'd probably call Super League One and Super League Two
They need
to
to
get
learn
round
to
that, I would
stop.
think.
They need to learn quickly to stop changing formats, and they need to learn very, very quickly. Those at the top.
Well,
The more. Look, we know we've done it throughout history. We've done it throughout the last 30 years. We've gone through how many format changes over the last, in my lifetime, at least five.
but what they need to do is to stop putting Z before A. What
Just
what they need to
think,
do is to have these expansions and formats and playoff structures and promotion and relegation. All this needs to be before we go. Oh, let's have 14 teams. Oh, but hang on a minute. Can we afford it? Because the TV deal isn't up until 20, like the end of. Is it the end of
and
next
they've
year?
broke end of next year, and they broke
So
contract. They
yeah. So
broke
why don't
contract.
you wait until the end of next year and say what's it going to be? Can we afford 14 teams? We know it's been rushed so much. I mean, as excited we are about York and Toulouse, The whole thing is just upside down, isn't it?
It's annoying. And it's annoying as fans because we're sat here debating this, and we've done it on multiple podcasts that it's so simple to achieve. But these people at the top, it's like it's like they're a bunch of toddlers
Yeah.
in a playpen,
But
and they've all got a load of toys, and someone wants to play with that toy, and then another one wants to go and play with that same toy, and another one wants to go in, and they're fighting over it, and then next thing, one of them goes to a different toy, starts playing with that, and suddenly they're all like, well, no, I want that one, I want that
yeah.
one, especially
But
after a glass of
but
red wine and
at
and other
10:37
substances.
p.m. isn't it? At 10:37 p.m. Yeah.
These
Um.
people run our sport. These
Right. But
absolute muppets.
these are supposed to be successful entrepreneurs, businessmen, CEOs of big companies, things like that. If they ran their businesses the way that they run rugby league,
They
they'd
wouldn't
be
be in these
bankrupt.
positions. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I find bizarre, that they don't seem to take their business principles that's earned them these millions into what is effectively their hobby.
hmm And that's it. You look at a businessman that plays golf, right? You own a driving range, right? Or you that's your business and that's the way you go. How many rich people do you have come in that'll buy a set of clubs off you, and then in 6 months' time they're not improving on the golf course, so they'll buy a new set of clubs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's
because it's not
exactly what it
the
is.
it's not the
Or the
fact that they
next
would.
year a new model comes out. Oh, this will make me better.
That's right. When
This is
really what
how
they should be
they're
doing
treating
is,
it, like that.
yeah,
Not a
and
business. It's treated like
what
a
they should
hobby.
be doing is spending that 500 quid on some lessons,
Yes.
and rather than 500 quid on a new drive. And it's the same principle. They should be spending their money on the structures and getting everything right within the sport before they start doing anything else.
And that analogy is the most perfect way to sum up the way English Rugby League has been ran over the last 60, 70 years. And this is what makes fans infuriated, that these people will come out in the press as well, and they'll go, well, we're successful businessmen, we know what we've done. If had an ounce of our success, this, that, and the other. But they don't treat the sport like they
Mm.
do their business. They treat the sport like it's their hobby.
Just a quick
And then they'll
question.
moan and wonder why they're losing money.
Quick question, and it's completely off the subject. I'm sorry, but like, how much, how much is a ticket to an NRL game?
It depends on your club, but you're not paying more than $30, so 14 pounds for an adult.
So right, so away matches now. When you go, you probably got your season ticket at your club. I've noticed now it creeping up over the thirty
So
pound mark.
so a season ticket I've just renewed at Panthers for a full year, which is 11 home games because they finished in the top eight, but they do two in the country, so you get nine, and it's cost me $200, which is $22 a game, £10 a ticket.
Right. So away games now, I'm noticing that it's crept up. You go online now and get a ticket, and it's now creeping up over £30 a match.
Jeez, a rugby
So
league ticket should never be over 25.
so if you've got a
Never.
family of 3 or 4 that are going
It's 120 quid.
before you start, and it's not like we're selling a lot of games out, and again that comes back to what I'm saying about structures, a lack of money, maybe less central funding. Oh well, we'll put the prices up because then the fans can carry the burden.
Yeah, and
And
that's always,
that's why I asked that, because I've seen the prices creep up a lot over the last 2 or 3 years. It was 20, and all of a sudden it's gone 30.
yeah. But we said this at the last World Cup when the ticket prices were so high. At the last World Cup with empty stadiums, right?
Mm.
How long will English Rugby League rely on the fans to carry the burden of their own failures, which is what you've just said? Because that Rugby League World Cup made a loss. They PR'd it like it made a load of money. It came out earlier, well, late last year, that actually it pretty much made nearly enough £1 million loss overall.
Yeah.
So how long are clubs going to rely on fans to be the burden of them?
Mm.
Because fans will get fed up of it. How many new kits do they release? So there's 4 kits in a year now.
Yeah.
Same with the NRL over here. Each
Yeah.
team will have at least 3 kits a year.
Yeah. Yeah. And my Wembley ticket for Saturday was less than Lee away.
Wow,
That's
that shouldn't be what it should be. That should be double Lee away.
yeah. I think Lee away. I think was £31. I think.
I think that sums up A, where our game, where our international game is, and B, where our national game and priority is. Because that is shocking.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. Sorry, it was just off the. It was just a point to
No, but
the.
it's a point well made.
Yeah.
And I think it is important that we realise that. And also, you then look at a ground that will be in Super League next year, that part of it got condemned in Bradford and Odsal Stadium, Schnodsel. How did they gain 2 IMG and Rugby League commercial points?
Well, they had a bigger gantry. So
Ninety
they had a
percent
big
of it's not undercover.
no, so they had a bigger TV gantry that got them extra points. Which in itself, how does that affect my match day experience going to Bradford?
Not you going, but it affects how it would look on TV.
I'm not sure it does.
Well, no,
If they
because you
fit all
can't
the
polish a
cameras,
turd.
if they get all the cameras and the commentators on that gantry, it doesn't make a difference.
No, it just means you get more
If they
angles.
extend the gantry by 10 feet, that doesn't make a difference to the TV production, does it?
You maybe get a second camera up there potentially.
Maybe, but so that doesn't affect my match day experience. And again, what are we? What are we achieving here? What are we doing for fans? What are we doing for people like me and you that go to games week in, week out?
Hmm.
And I get a bit tired of this now. I get a bit tired of this. We don't put things on pre-game. There's no. You look at other sports and it's an event, isn't it? It's an event. It's a happening. I'm going to go down there at X o'clock for kickoff. It's you know what do I do now? 8 o'clock kickoff. I go and park the car. Go and park the car at 7:15. Sit in the car and put some bets on for the
Hmm.
match. Stroll down. Probably go to the club shop about 7:30. Stroll in the ground 7:45, 7:50, 7:55.
Hmm.
Off you go. Because to there's nothing else to occupy my time there.
I've said for years that rugby league should have gone down the American route years ago in terms of how they go about games, having fan zones, having tailgates, for example, as they do in America, but do something different, like put on barbecues, have like alcohol stalls
Yeah,
set
yeah,
out, like, and every single game should be an event because it's such a because that's why initially American football started off as that. It started off as college games. They couldn't sell alcohol in the grounds, so that's effectively how they became tailgates, and you created the atmosphere outside the ground. The NFL, when it came into the professional game and the professional leagues, brought that atmosphere to it, but then added the fact that you
mm,
can buy alcohol,
yeah,
and then they profited off that, and each club can profit off that, and by making it the atmosphere that they need it to be. The problem is they've not done it soon enough. If they did that in the 90s, rugby league would
yeah,
have so much more revenue than
yeah,
what they've currently got now.
yeah. You're right.
Every individual club.
And then you go back to the ground that you mentioned. Again, there isn't really the scope around there to do anything like that at Odsal.
No.
There
There's
isn't
hills.
anything like that. That's it. There isn't anything, which isn't their fault. But is that ground fit for top level sport?
Mm,
Because if they'd known that their ambition is to get back in Super League, and they've had 10 years at this, right?
yeah,
And they've also and there's also £1 million missing somewhere
yeah.
from the sale to the RFL
Has to be.
and back to the Bulls. Surely there should be some surplus money somewhere in for whoever's got it somewhere to say, actually, we should have renovated this ground with this money that we bought with it, because what was the point in the RFL buying it in the first place?
Well, there was one point, and that was to get a Mister
Yeah,
a bit of cash.
of course it was, but that but surely that money should have gone into renovating the ground,
Yeah,
even if it was new terracing and new terracing and new barriers and things like that. If the seats weren't feasible, but you know what I mean. That should have been
yeah.
that should have. It's not even had a lick of paint.
Not even had a jet wash.
That's what I mean. It's like surely that should have been the number one priority, because you look at the other teams that are coming up and you look at the stadium that York have developed. Even Castleford have
Toulouse.
put new. Even Castleford have put seats in down the long side
Put
of the
some padded
terracing.
seats in.
Yeah, look at the strides that Wakefield have made in their ground.
Massive strides.
Absolutely.
And there's
So
constantly more development going on in Wakefield.
a lot of Lancashire teams since Bradford, um, were at their pomp, have moved into new grounds.
Saints, Warrington, Widnes,
Yeah, Lee
just
probably
to
not.
name three. Oldham,
Yeah, Oldham.
Lee.
I don't know when Lee moved to Lee's
Lee
Village,
moved
but yeah.
2009 or 2010.
So there you go. Lee's another. Look at the renovations that Hull KR have done on their ground.
Yeah.
The stuff that Hull KR have done
And that's
is
now in the
perfect for Bradford.
works as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect for Bradford. That the Craven Street development, the what you've just said about
hmm
the tailgating and the hot
Yeah.
dogs and all that stuff, perfect for them. The
hmm
experience, and I just don't see what they're bringing. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Jamie Peacock was selling his shirts and medals to raise
Yeah.
money for him.
And a lot of other
I
players
don't
were.
see. Yeah, I don't see what they bring. I'm glad to see them back.
They bring nostalgia.
So do Huddersfield.
Exactly. So do Oldham.
I, yeah, I, I'm a, I,
So does
I'm a pleased.
Sheffield.
Am I pleased to see York in? Yeah. Am I pleased to see Toulouse in? Yes. Would I have been pleased to see London in? Yeah. Am I pleased to see Bradford in? I'm ambivalent about it.
Let's go through the
I'm
list.
not.
Would you be
I
would you
don't
be
have a
happy if
feeling about it.
Halifax came in?
I think for Halifax, I read Bradford. I think they've got a lot of work to do on the ground and things like that.
But it's still a better ground
Yeah, but it is still a better
than
ground,
Oxford.
and they've never actually quite finished it. It's been like that for like 20 years. But I see them as a similar thing.
Oldham, would you be excited about?
Yeah, better, much more.
Widnes.
Yeah, much more.
So Doncaster definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got five more teams that already excite you more than this Bradford. And Bradford have only been only. I just don't get where they've got this 2 points. Like Toulouse won that grand final and lost points on the year before. How?
Done. And the fact that they won it meant they only lost, I think it was 0.33 points, because they would have lost 0.58. I'm not sure, but the
Yeah,
fact that they
yeah,
won it and they got 0.25 meant it
0.25.
reduced their deficit.
But I don't
But I
get
don't
how they've
understand
lost
why.
points. I don't get
No,
how
I
they've
don't.
lost and Bradford have gained.
Bradford have played the system. They've played the graders and played the system magnificently. You've got to give them credit for it. But when you've got people on the inside, it's quite easy.
When you
It's a
got
lot
people
easier
on
to
the
do, isn't it?
inside that can potentially warp and submit information that isn't going to be independently verified, absolutely.
Quite easy to do, isn't it? Yep. Yep.
Any club could do it
Yep.
because there's as far as that's been told publicly. There hasn't been an independent person reviewing all these submissions, and they've just gone, yeah, okay, that's cool, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. So, and when you add them extra two words on top of IMG ratings with rugby league commercial ratings, it's a little bit suspicious, to say the least.
Well, it remains to be seen what they will bring, because the signings they've made so far also
Haven't excited anyone.
they've been underwhelming, haven't they?
Yeah, there've been people past the best that have been coming
Yeah,
back to the club. Rowan
yeah,
Milnes, for example.
yeah. The signings they've made are, if it ends up being top eight, they are 8th to 14th signings.
The 13th to 14th signings for me. I think every single team in Super League has a better squad than them next year. Every
Yeah,
single one.
yeah,
And I don't see that squad getting much better over the coming 2 or 3 or 4 years either. Because I don't know how financially stable they are. Whereas I know how much Toulouse are getting backed. You know how much York are getting backed by the signings they're making. Bradford are making very budget friendly Super
yeah.
League signings, should we say the
Well, they
least?
haven't. Well, they haven't done anything on the pitch over the last few years to get them into Super League, have they?
No, they finished third this year.
Hmm. That's the best they've done.
So
I think they've done third for the last couple of years, but that's the best they've done. They
mm,
fell short when it's mattered.
yeah. And if you look at it, really, it's the top three sides in the championship have gone up. So really, it's the right thing to do, but it just feels wrong by how high Bradford were in the IMG rankings.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we shall see.
We shall see, indeed. But this isn't the end of the chaos, because this week, literally yesterday, they announced that they're having another vote on whether they're going to bring back promotional relegation, or they're having talks about it. Which, after only scrapping it for 2 years, I really don't know why, in a sport that is so financially invaluable, yeah, so
Mm.
financially like topsy turvy, why we are thinking about creating more instability by introducing promotion and relegation when everyone agreed 3 years ago that it isn't good for our sport.
Mm.
Why? Why are we now talking about bringing it back?
Um, is that to benefit London?
Yeah, but they're talking about like long-term promotion and relegation. Would that benefit any club? Because
No.
what they should be doing is doing what they're doing now with sort of licensing, and doing what the NRL are doing and going 14 teams, these 14 teams locked in, right? But in 2028, we're expanding to
Yeah.
16.
I,
Put in your
I've
bids.
always I've always been a big promotion and relegation fan all my life in
Mm-hmm.
sport in general, not just rugby league, but in sport.
Yeah.
The jeopardy of, if you've not played well enough,
Oh,
you suffer the
yeah.
consequences. And if you have played well enough to deserve a place in the next division, that's what should happen. But even I think it's not the right time to do it now. And I and
Because
I'm
there's
and
so
I've
much
been the biggest.
instability.
Yeah, I've been the biggest because again, you can't say, right. Well, we don't know what the TV deal is again. We don't know what the central funding is. You're only going to take half of it. You're only going to take half of yours. But you might want to take half of it. Oh, and then by the way, we might end up relegating you at the end of the season as well. This is what I'm saying
How
about
can, how can
Plan
you
A,
give
Plan Z.
how can you have promotion and relegation when not every single member of the top division is getting the same amount of money? So it's not an even playing field.
No, we we don't know if we're in promotion relegation, and we don't know how many teams are in the playoffs.
Well, that's
Uh,
it. They're
uh,
on about expanding that to
yeah,
8 teams in a
so you
14
can
team comp
so you could finish
in the
in the
bottom
lower
half
half of the table
and win it.
and win it.
Stupid, ridiculous, idiotic, downright insane.
And I would imagine if it is an 8-team playoff, it would mirror the NRL. That's why they want to go to 8.
which is the best playoff system that you can have for a top 8. It's the best playoff system. But you cannot have it when you've got 14 teams. You can have it when you've got 16 and you're
No,
in the top half. Fine.
I
You
mean
cannot have it.
six from 12 is ridiculous. I mean, the best system we've ever had was 5, in my opinion,
Yeah. For the amount of
because
teams we've had.
yeah, you had 1v2, and they went to the grand final, and then 2 got another chance, or 1 got another chance.
Hmm.
And if you were 5th, basically you had to go away to 4-3-2 and then win the grand final to win it.
Hmm.
So it was unlikely, but it was the best playoff system, and it not guaranteed, but he had more of a chance of the top 2 finishers being involved because they both got 2 chances. So they had much better chance of having a 1v2 final. So this year's Hull KR Wigan, 1 and 2. And since they've had this format, it does leave a bit of jeopardy in terms of the only advantage that you've got for finishing first or second is a home semi. And that's why it's not always ended up 1v2 in the grand final.
Well, the year
And I
before it was
know, and I know
1v3.
that's the case because you only have to look at the Broncos, for example, for this season.
Hmm.
But it does happen. But if you had the 5 teams and you had a 1v2, you've both got 2 chances. If you don't take the 2 chances like Canberra this year,
Hmm.
well, you don't deserve to be in the final, do you? But 8 teams, one of the biggest things this year was the battle for 6th, wasn't it? The battle for
Hmm.
6th, right? And it ended up being Wakefield. Hull were in there with a chance,
Yeah.
and
They
for
fluffed
a
the lines
while, yeah, and Warrington were in for a while, right?
after
Warrington,
a
right,
second.
right. If it was like that, Warrington or Catalan would have been in the playoffs.
I know. With the season they've had.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Slamming Sam.
He would have put that. I was just going to say, Sam Burgess would have put that on his CV. Steered the team
Yeah.
to the playoffs.
2 years on the bounce and 2 Challenge Cup finals.
Yeah.
It's you cannot have it where you can finish in the bottom 8 and potentially win it. You cannot. So you could do it if we had 16 teams. I'm fine with that. But my lord, you cannot do it's I very nearly said the R word. It's stupid.
I'm fine. I'm fine with 16 teams, like you said, because there's an air of unpredictability that 12,
Hmm.
13, 14, 15, 16 can beat third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. And therefore they lose points. But when you're talking about 8 from 14, there might, and there usually is, there's 2 or 3 teams that absolutely nowhere near.
No, and they'll get flogged in the early rounds.
Exactly that. So in effect, what we said this year is that we had a 9-team league this year
Hmm.
because Salford, Huddersfield, and Castleford weren't competitive or weren't competitive enough. Therefore, you've got a 9-team league. So we had Warrington who finished ninth in a 9-team league. But for a while, we were in a shout with the playoffs. So we only had 6 from 9 in effect this year. So what are you really talking next year? 8 from 12, 8 from
So
11.
you're taking away jeopardy, like
before
even more
before it's
so,
begun. Before it's
even more
begun.
so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're just eliminating everything. So if we said like Bradford don't don't do anything, you look at Toulouse, it'll be hard to challenge. Then you look at Huddersfield, that they underwhelmed this year. They've not really got many signings coming in next year. So, like you said, there's only 11 teams, and even then, like it's a tough ask for York to do it in the first
If
season.
if you don't, and I'll count the expansion teams out of this because it's new for them. But I tell you what, you've got to be bad, haven't you, not to make a top 8
Oh,
in
yeah,
that league.
yeah,
In Super League, you've got to be bad, and I'm counting the expansion because you don't know like you've said about recruitment,
yeah.
how quick they can get players and etc. So this year, I'm going to discount them a little bit. So you've got to be bad not to make
Out
a
of the
top 8
11
playoff.
that are currently in Super League that will be in next, yeah, you've got to be shocking.
Yeah, because you would only need So you'd have in what 14 teams. So that's what 26 games.
Yeah,
So by that you would probably need
10 wins.
26 points, 24 points.
Yeah, I reckon
That's
you could get
half.
away with less. 22, I reckon.
Yeah,
I mean, 11 wins, you'd probably
that's
get in
so you'd win 11, lose 15, and you're in the playoffs. That's outrageous, isn't it? That's
with
outrageous.
like points difference of minus 300.
Yeah, yeah.
Well done, Nige. Well done, Des.
Excellent work.
Cheers,
Good work if
lads.
you can get it. I think we're looking at there, aren't we?
Tell you what, like,
Do you think they had a
how many?
conversation? Think they had a conversation? Nige, where do you think Bradford will finish next year? I don't know. I reckon we'd be. I don't know, eighth, ninth. What do you think should be in the playoff? Oof. Let me have a think about that one. Isn't
Should we have a top 10?
it? Yeah. No, I think we're better than that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Wonga Blake on the wing, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Do you think you can do top eight, Nige? I think we're there or thereabouts. Right, that's it then. Yeah, I think that's the conversation that goes on.
Must do. Must do. And one thing
We,
you can say, they will be calling him Big Nige, as
yeah, you're
Derek
right. You
has
will, right.
christened him
Yeah.
massively.
But that then brings the other question, doesn't it, about an expanded playoffs like that, 8 teams, then gets rid of Magic Weekend, doesn't it?
Well, this was it. So they're talking about getting rid of Magic Weekend, which is the only profitable event that we do really. So it makes 500,000. They reckon last year, the year before was around 600,000 profit that just goes into the RFL bank. They're just going to get rid of that. So
And don't
and it's a format that is that successful. The Australians have copied it
yeah, copied
in
it, yeah.
both codes in
Yeah.
NRL and AFL. They've
Yeah.
copied it over in America. Like
Yeah.
what? Why? Why do you getting rid of something
Yeah, we've
that
led the
was
way on it,
so
yeah.
good
We led the way on it.
that
I
brings
mean it was
fans,
called
communities together? That you can, like we said on a podcast earlier this year, you can put it out to councils and go, look, it's made 8-10 million over a weekend for your
yeah,
city.
for your city,
Do
yeah.
you want to?
Do you want to bid
Do you
for
want
it?
to
Yeah.
like bid for it?
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think the whole we've led the way on the concept. It used to be called Millennium Magic when it first started off because it was at the Millennium Stadium,
Mm-hmm.
and we've led the way on it. And even people like Eamon McManus had said this season that part of the reason they wanted the French teams out or whatever, whichever way he put it, was that it was stopping people going to places like Magic Weekend because they were spending money going to Catalans.
Yeah, and going to the Challenge Cup final. But the Challenge Cup final will never be like it was. It will never be a
No,
big day out.
that used to be the North's big day out going down to London, and
But you can go
and it
down to
used
London whenever now. That's lost its
yeah.
magic.
Plus, you can see every game on telly every week, whereas then the league games were on the television. It was only the Challenge Cup on BBC, and they were the
Yeah,
only games that
and if you
rugby
want,
league got
and if
shown.
you wanted to see the top flight, you went to the Challenge Cup final
Exactly that,
because
and
if
that's
you were a
what it
lower
was.
league team, that's when you used to
Yeah,
go.
because the amount you used to see dozens and dozens of different shirts and lots of them, and that's gone now. And you think, then you think why are we holding on to Wembley in that case? Because it's the nostalgia, it's the heritage, we've got a statue, all sorts of stuff. But if they're looking at it on a purely commercial term, like they were doing last year, then Wembley's not the place.
And Spurs is the place.
Is London the place?
You
If you go
you
into
you
London, I think you keep
you.
Wembley as opposed to Spurs if you keep London. I think the point I'm making is if you wanted a Challenge Cup final with 80,000 people and a lot of neutrals, do you make them go all the way down to London?
Well, no, but
I
you
don't know.
won't get
It's
eighty
just a
thousand
thought.
anywhere. So if you then right,
No,
it's
but
the
you could
national.
easily get. you could easily get 60 or 70 somewhere, couldn't you? In a lot of big grounds now. City
Yeah,
have um, City
yeah,
have
but you get
expanded
60 at
their ground,
Wembley.
haven't they, to 60 odd now? Yeah.
So, well, not yet. It's going to be under construction soon. But why do we? Every sport gets a chance to play at the national stadium.
That
Every
yeah.
like professional sport, and I hate it when people say, "Let's go away from Wembley," because you can't.
No, I agree with you. I like it, but I'm
But
just saying if
go
you
away from
got
Old
to a
Trafford,
point,
I agree with. Go
yeah,
away from Wembley, I don't.
I agree with you. I just think if you had a point where you got to you were only getting 50,000, they'd have to look at it again.
Yeah, well,
If
we
it was
do only
purely
get
the
50,
if
50
it
odd.
was but but if it was purely the two lots of teams that were going to Wembley,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the two. But if you had an international game at Wembley, if you had this as a more regular fixture, people would
Yeah,
still get the chance to go down to Wembley.
yeah, it would have to be every year. You'd have
Yeah,
to have a tour
yeah,
coming over, and you'd have to play at Wembley every year.
yeah,
That would be the only difference. And
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
But
yeah,
I don't know why they're getting rid of Magic Weekend. It's profitable. It makes them money. They complain about how little money they've got, and they want to get rid of an event that makes pure profit. It's ludicrous. And again, we go back to that toddlers analogy. It's just like they've got rid of this toy now. They don't want it. They've thrown it out the playpen. They can't get it now, so they've gone off and they want to try something different. And it's just absolutely stupid, in my opinion, getting rid of it.
yeah, I agree.
So anyway, let's get away from the negativity. Let's get back to the positive stuff. And it is the Ashes this weekend. You're going down to Wembley, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, come on, England. Yeah, I am. I think
Yeah,
it's. Uh, I, I've been excited for this since the end of the. Well, since I got the tickets, really.
yeah.
I've been looking forward to this, and it's nearly here, and it's like, and I'm so looking forward just to the whole day, just going down, um, being part of a whole. What I think it'll be a really good atmosphere. I think it will be. I just think the whole. I think the whole. I'm just looking. I'm so excited about the day, mate. I can't tell you how much. I think it's great,
I'm
and
so jealous I'm not there.
I think sometimes in rugby league we don't get enough big games to get excited about, do we?
Hmm.
You know. Um, but this is one that we can. So even the last couple of years when we've played Tonga and Samoa in Test matches, I mean, particularly the Samoa one because half the team was still at Stephen Crichton's wedding, weren't they?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? That didn't whet the appetite. I don't
no.
think the Tonga one particularly did. I don't. I thought that was a poorish series, really.
Yeah, it was a strong side they had as well.
Yeah, and they were good. And don't forget, we've won these 5-0.
Hmm.
Those then. So I think that's been good. The World Cup was really exciting. I think there was a lot of good games in that, and again in that they really excite you. But then this is on a par with the World Cup, isn't it?
Oh, massively. This is in some way bigger than the World Cup.
Yeah. If
Some
I
could
said to you,
argue.
big game, none that your club hasn't been involved with over the last 10 or 15 years, and you said like, what would you do? So the first one I would point to is the semi-final at Wembley in 2013 when
Don't.
we were. But that,
I love,
but
I
that
love, I love, love Kevin Sinfield and all he's done for motor neuron disease. But my God, I still hate him for that moment,
for that.
shooting out the
But
line.
that's a game. But that's a game you get excited about, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the game either you look back or you were looking forward to. Do you know what I mean? There was certain games that
2017 World Cup.
yeah, just random games that I was looking forward to. Like I'll tell you one that was one. There was a quarter final in the World Cup at Warrington, Tonga v Samoa.
Yes, yeah, yeah. The Sippy Tau
Brilliant,
and the
brilliant.
Siba Tau.
I actually sat on the Samoan bench for that.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned it a lot. I think you mentioned it on one of our pods. This is how
Yeah.
this is how much
Oh,
you mentioned.
But again, maybe it's because of that. But that game was like brilliant, and that sort of thing was, you know what I mean? That was they were looking
Hmm.
forward to those games, and when it, and I've had other games where 2013 the World Cup final at Old Trafford, Australia, New Zealand,
Yeah,
absolute damp squib because Australia won about I think it was 34-0 or something.
yeah,
Damp squibs. So these games are ones you get excited for because there's so much anticipation, and it's like that. What's going to happen? Have we got a chance? Are we going to get whitewashed? Are Australia going to win by 30 points? And you see all these predictions, and it's like people are saying, yes, we can do it. Yes, we can win one. We can take it to a third test. That up till, well, no, Australia are going to win by 50.
yeah.
And you
It's
see
literally,
everything in between.
and it's great. It's like when the only comparison I've got really is when Saints played Penrith over here,
Mm.
and no one gave Saints a chance, and the media over here are the exact same about the English, and that is
All
what's
right.
making me think, oh, we've got a chance because I've
Yeah.
seen it happen with my own eyes, and the
Yeah.
fact they're not giving us a chance, it's made my blood boil, man, because I'm sat here and Aaron Woods is making comments like, saying, oh, they're playing the Super League, they're a load of rubbish, blah 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 blah, and I'm sat here thinking, you know what? If an English person said that, I'd probably agree with you
Yeah.
in
You did get,
some of the things he's saying, but because it's an
yeah,
Australian saying it, I'm fuming.
you did get a reply off him, didn't you, on
I
social
did,
media?
yes, I did.
Yeah,
A
on
couple
one
of
of your
replies.
on one of your stalker sites, didn't you? Yeah, you got one of them, didn't
Yeah,
you? Yeah. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, you're right. I think there's so much anticipation about it. Have we got a chance? Have England got a chance?
absolutely. We're winning this series.
Do you think this is?
I got asked this
Do you
last
think
week
this
and
is
I
one of
said
the
we're getting battered.
weakest? Do you think this is one of the weakest sides that Australia had for a few years? Or do you?
Yes,
How do you rate the strength of the Australian team?
it's a lot weaker than the last one, but in a lot of ways, it's a lot stronger. So you look at the likes of Reece Walsh on debut, he's been ripping it up in the NRL, for example. I think he's going to get a shock of his life, though, because I don't think he realizes how hard these English lads will hit
Hmm.
and will come out firing.
That's the biggest comment I've heard off a lot of fans that they're looking forward to seeing Reece Walsh play.
Mate, he's lightning quick.
Yeah, that's
And
that's the about the Australian team. It's all
yeah,
about
and he takes the
it.
game by the scruff of the
It's
neck.
it's not even now about Nathan Cleary anymore with the fans here.
No.
It's about Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
The weaker Australia are weaker because I'm not decimated is the wrong word, but they've been weakened by
By Payne Haas.
by players choosing to play
Hmm. The
for their
hammer.
indigenous nations, haven't they? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they have been weakened a bit by that, and they've had a couple of pullouts before the tour, haven't they?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Ado Carr went in, didn't he? He went in, didn't he? And
Yeah,
I can't remember who else
he
went in.
Adokar in the squad. Um
Yeah,
Thingy left, say Xavier Coates left the
yeah, that's
squad.
right. So they've had a couple of knocks,
And
haven't they?
Zach Lomax as well.
Yeah, so they've had a couple of knocks before the tour. It's still a strong squad, though. I mean, we shouldn't be
Hugely.
underestimating them, should we? You know?
No, hugely. And their second rows are where they're gonna overpower us in the forward pack. But I think, with Kai Pearce-Paul and John Bateman, to be fair, as much as I can't believe we're saying John Bateman's playing for England in 2025, I was listening to Jimmy Graham and Josh Hodgson talking about it, and it's made me go on more the side of, yeah, they're probably right. So, like, when was the last time John Bateman had a really bad game for England?
Mm.
When was the last time he didn't give 100% for England? When was the last time?
Hence Wayne's credit in the bank statement. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but then I also thought back to yeah. So I don't know. Uh,
I also thought, though, credit in the bank. I also thought that Harry Smith would be a certainty at one point to partner with George Williams,
Especially because he
but he's
likes the
been
structured play.
He's been left out of the squad with Mikey Lewis. Have
I'm
you
glad to see that.
heard today? Have you seen the comments today from Gary Schofield? Right. have you ever seen a more bitter man in rugby league than Gary Schofield?
Literally, mate.
Isn't it?
Small man
He
syndrome.
well, what he was saying was that um, um, we haven't really got a chance because there's only we've in our squad, in the England squad, there is only George Williams with any invention, any unpredictability.
So Herbie Farnworth isn't unpredictable.
No,
Mickey Lewis isn't
he wasn't even.
unpredictable.
He didn't even mention anybody as in different positions. What he was talking about was the halves, and he said
Okay.
that Lewis was a maverick, but an individual player, and it was too much for Williams, and he's not going to help the situation whatsoever. And it was all on Williams, and Australia would absolutely hammer and target Williams because they knew that he was the only player with any invention.
God, he's thick, isn't he? How can you say
I
Mickey
mean,
Lewis has no invention? Did you watch that
yeah.
grand final?
But you're right about the others. What about Farmers? What about Wellesby?
Literally.
What
It's what about AJ Brimson?
yeah, So
Darryl Clark, Jez Litton,
yeah,
Kai Pearce Paul with his
he was
offload
all
game
about.
and his running
He
style.
he was talking about Williams. Too much for Williams, and that's why he would get beat because they would hammer Williams, and nobody else can help him out.
Who still gives him a platform?
Probably League Express.
Yeah, Martin Sadler, innit?
Yeah.
It's 100%
So,
Martin Sadler.
but I think we can do it, man. I think we can. I mean, this would be brilliant. I don't think Australia's preparation has been brilliant as it good in
I
previous
mean,
tours.
they played the French national side today in an opposed training session. They played the London Broncos
But
in an
in
opposed training
previous,
session.
but on previous tours, that's been a proper test match.
Yeah,
The French game.
yeah, true.
Um.
During the
So
World Cup
yeah.
preparation, they played a game.
But it all seems to me as though, and I'm probably wrong, but the Kangaroos. It seems to be a bit of an afterthought from here, sat in this
Oh,
country.
it massively is. So,
But it wasn't at one time.
no, so
It wasn't.
the way,
Everything was about being a
yeah,
kangaroo. Now it
yeah.
doesn't seem to be, and it's
Now it's
like
about playing for New South
Origin.
Wales or Queensland.
Yeah, and it's like, and now because of that, I get the feeling sometimes it's a bit like, oh, I've got more rugby league now. I've got to play rather than well, I'm playing,
Yeah,
and that I might be completely wrong because the players I think will embrace that.
yeah.
I'm a kangaroo, but it seems to me that there seems to be an apathy about the Kangaroos. They don't do tours anymore. They
No.
barely play. They barely play a game unless they play like the Anzac Test and things like that.
Hmm. So it's like over here. If Australia loses, the world carries on. The world keeps spinning. The rugby league circle keeps on going on. And then, but if like Queensland loses, the whole state
Mm.
shuts down. If New South
It's
Wales loses, the whole state shuts down.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
it's like they're in mourning for a year until the next
yeah.
series. Whereas
Because
if the
until that,
Kangaroos lose
yeah.
against England,
Mm.
they won't give a shit.
But no,
But
they've had
me,
to. Yeah,
me, I'll be in the pub
no,
going on about it
celebrating
for the next 10
absolutely.
years.
Well, they had to change the coach at late notice.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not quite sure why Malmaninga couldn't do this tour
Hmm.
before taking up the anything to do with
Because
the
the
tour
NRL
affairs.
said that it's got to be one focus with when it comes to the Kangaroos job. You can't have another eye on anything else.
I understand that, but it's not perfect timing to change your coach, is it? When your focus has been for Malmaninga's probably been this tour, It could have been, well, we'll announce it, but you'll take up your position on November the 15th or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden now they've thrown Walters into the mix, who again, I don't know, just seemed to like pluck him and be he strikes me as like a third or fourth choice. Do you know what I mean? It's like there isn't,
Maybe.
you know.
I think that's a bit harsh. Um,
It's just the way it seems from here.
yeah,
It's just the reports you get from here. It's like all of a sudden Malmeninger's leading this team. Right, now we haven't got a coach. Right, who are we going to have now? I don't know. Oh, give it to him. It's that type of. That's the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
That's the way it
He's an
feels.
experienced coach.
I'm not taking
He'll
it
do
away
it.
from him. He's a
No,
better
no, no.
coach than
That's what I
me.
mean.
So yeah,
That's what's coming across as. Oh, he's experienced. He's out of a job. Oh, go on, Kevy. Do you want it?
that that's the way it comes across it over here.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then they're moaning about. Then he's moaning about that they brought a sleep guru with him, and we've given the wrong time flight times
Flights.
and all this sort of stuff. It's like, come on, mate, man up, get on with it. You know,
Well,
it's like,
you fly in business class.
yeah, you can sleep on the plane. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
honestly, it's just, yeah. I just feel as though, in a way, I feel as though, and a little bit like you've just said, there's like ready-made excuses, and if they lose, it's like, oh well, it's
Yeah. But
we'll
it's like
just carry on.
yeah. And that's the thing, like in England, we'll be talking about this for the next 30, 40 years.
Yeah,
In Australia, they won't even talk about it in a month's time
yeah,
because it'll be the
yes,
cricket ashes.
yes,
So
yeah,
they'll move on. And then rugby league circle will carry on until state of origin next year, and it'll just move on. Whereas this means so much more to England, and that's why I think we're gonna win. I think we'll win at Wembley. I think we'll lose at Everton, and I think we'll win at Headingley.
excellent. I'll go with that.
That's my prediction.
Yeah.
'Cause I think we'll
I
take
think
them by
ultimately,
surprise in this one.
I think ultimately we'll lose 3-0, but I hope. No, I said no. Actually, I think we'll lose 2-1. I think we will. I think we will win one either this week or next week. I think that this week is the better chance.
I just hope we go into a decider at Headingley.
Yeah, so do I. I think that'd be fantastic. I think this week is a much better chance than next week.
Yeah, and I think if we are 2-0 down, that's when they'll throw in Ethan Strange just so he can't convert to England.
Yeah, yeah,
If he
I
doesn't
think you're
play,
right.
he can still convert after this tour. But
Yeah, for the World Cup. Yeah,
I just reckon they'll sling him and Blake Brayley in
yeah,
just to make sure they can't pick England in the future.
yeah. I think you're right. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but and the final point on the Ashes, now that we're excited and geared up, is I really think though we've missed a huge trick because every single video I've seen and all of the history of the Ashes, it's not been England.
that's Great Britain. I totally agree.
Why?
The
For
um,
every major tournament, Great Britain should return.
well, it even made the House of Commons twice. The
Hmm.
Speaker, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, this week wished England good luck,
Yeah.
but he's had to revert that because last week he wished Great Britain good luck.
Oh.
So
But in every major tournament, it should be Great Britain.
the
Not
history of the
only
Ashes
that,
is yeah,
not only that, that improves domestic international games
yeah. I
because
completely agree. Yeah,
we moan about a poor international game domestically for us, so England can't try out against or play each other or whatever, right? If you have Great Britain, you can have players like Morgan Knowles, like Kieran Cunningham used to in the
yeah,
day,
yeah,
representing
yeah,
Wales, where their
yeah,
grandfathers from, where the fathers are from. You can have them representing Ireland. You can have them representing Scotland without any issue of eligibility. And then they
yeah,
can go into a World Cup as Great Britain.
yeah,
And then you can play tests domestically. You can improve
yeah,
that game. France then
yeah,
have a good competitor because they can play Ireland, Scotland,
yeah,
Wales, Serbia,
yeah,
Netherlands, and then we can have a
yeah,
proper
and
European
yeah, and
team.
ultimately what you do then is build. You build like the Pacific nations. You build stronger Tongas, stronger Samoas, don't you? Things like that. Stronger Cook Islands because people are choosing that as their heritage to
Yeah.
represent their families. Yeah,
And then you have a
absolutely. Yeah,
better
yeah.
European international game.
But I agree. I think the Ashes is all about that red and blue V. with the
Yeah.
Lion, and I think that's what we. Yeah, I think I'm disappointed that it's not Great Britain. I think it grabs the country more.
Yeah. You look at the British and Irish Lions that rugby union
Yeah,
stole off
that's
league.
everything for
They
them.
stole it off
To be
us.
a British Lion is everything to rugby union players.
And they stole it off us. That was
Yeah,
ours.
they stole a lot of
We
things
had it
off us. Yeah,
first. They
yeah,
stole rugby off us.
yeah,
We
yeah. You're
allowed them
right.
just to run with that. So
I think the only things that should be England for cricket, like is cricket, football, like that. We should be embracing the Great Britain
yeah,
brand for this
absolutely.
series. Yeah,
Great Britain
yeah,
and Ireland, and
yeah.
that's how it should be. And I think that's a great point to end on. Andy, enjoy Wembley.
I will. I hope.
I know. I know. I'll be up in Brisbane cheering us
Are
on.
we? Are we back? Are we back for a review and a preview for the others?
Definitely.
There you go. Right.
Definitely.
Good.
Next week, the week after that, we'll keep on going and we'll get involved. And this has been the Super League POMcast Ashes slash domestic special. It's been a pleasure, Andy.
And you, mate. See you soon.
Peace.
Bye.